Next up, so we've got Ed. So Ed is super interesting. I've actually got a video from Ed because he joined one of our Q&As and he told me what he was doing. And then I said, do you mind if you just walk us through your entire system? So I'll share this in the creator community because I've got like 7 minutes of just Ed talking about what he does and kind of really going behind the scenes, but I've laid it out for you here. And so business building coach, strategist for business writers. Ed has private coaching that he charges $1,000 a month for, but then he also has a members community. So Ed is not a stranger to members communities. He'd set up two in the past, but for whatever reason, he hadn't quite managed to make them work. So he had this one that he'd set up for teaching strategies for business writing, and he'd put it at $99 a month. And he was kind of doing all right, but he kind of thought it might be going in the same direction as the other two. So when he made his AI, it's called Ed on Tap. He then put it inside his membership and then he raised the price of his membership. So he said to current members, you are grandfathered in at this old price. You can stay on $99, but now the membership's more valuable. He said to his list, I'm about to put the price up. You can join now at 99 or you can wait till next week when it's 146. And then after that time, he just sells it at 146. So Ed was actually able to add $7,000 a month in additional revenue straight away, just from doing that and just from going out to his list and doing that. And then he also knows now that 95% of his members use Ed on Tap. So this is Ed's process. So busy with one-to-one private clients, didn't really have space for more, familiar with community building. He actually would use his community quite a bit for kind of waitlist people. So people who maybe they're not ready for one-to-one, or maybe you haven't got a space for one-to-one, but but I do want to help you. I do want to make it work. So how about my community? Trained his AI on all his frameworks, trained it on his coaching style. Yeah, I told you he increased the membership price to 146. But I think what's the most interesting thing here is down the bottom. So this is actually a screenshot of Ed on our Q&A talking me through what he did. So your AI can be embedded anywhere that accepts HTML. So he's got Ed on Tap inside his sure what that's built with, but I could ask him. But anything like Teachable, Thrivecart, anywhere that has courses will have HTML where you can embed your AI. But he will give people very specific instructions on how they use it. So on this one, you might not be able to see because it's small, but I'll read it out. So he's got, over the next 2 hours, you will use Ed on Tap as your year-end reflection coach to walk through a structured review that helps you see your year for what it truly was. And then, so it's literally like, it's like a guided journal buddy. So if you think with his memberships before that he said didn't kind of work so much, he probably would have given them these same exercises, but they had to do them solo. But now they've got Ed on Tap to be able to do it with them. So it's like study buddy, guide, that thing that's kind of always there helping. And then with Ed's beautiful, friendly face at the top, so people are like, it's like he's getting the credit. So stats on this are the main difference for him is that because it's giving extra value, his membership retention is up. And that's a real big thing because he's seen membership retention go down before, but right now it's really good. So any thoughts on Ed? Or if we just kind of check in on the three I've shown you so far. So Ed, Marion, Julia, what's the biggest kind of standout? Has anyone got their kind of, oh, that's one thing that could really work for me. That's one thing that I could definitely do. Incorporating AI into their programs, yeah. Existing community at capacity. Did they all have a community to start from? Yeah, lots of them. Well, so that's kind of interesting because I think that so Julia didn't necessarily have a community, but she had a DIY program, but she had an audience. Marion, yeah, it's like so I think one really key thing here is that this is a lot. Like these three examples are very much like how to make use of a kind of existing community or an existing audience or an existing thing that's set up. I think if you are in that position, these are perfect, perfect places to start. Although actually the next options I'll show you involve building that. But with the lead generation use case, which is literally simple use case number two, it's just using your AI as a lead generation tool to build your list. And then once you've built your list, once you've kind of built it to that level, it opens up all these other things because now you have a mailing list that you can do more stuff with. So it's almost like that's how I would think of it. If you're thinking, well, hang on, I haven't got my list yet, I would start with the lead generation use case for your AI. So Jim said, I love the hand holding prompt ideas. Yeah, this is big. You'll see that in the next example as well. Dex is also building a prompt library. Nice. Coral said, I'm thinking about how to use this very specific instructions thing coming out of a LinkedIn post. Yeah, nice. So we teach you this in Academy for sure. But it's like if you've got an audience where you know what they struggle with, you know their challenges, that's where you use your LinkedIn post to kind of call out these challenges and to show that you know how to solve them. Maybe you share like a 5-step process. Maybe you share an example of a client where you've solved this problem before. But then the call to action will say, walk through this problem or walk through this challenge with Coral AI. And then open a chat with Coral AI and say this, like, help me overcome this, help me overcome burnout, help me become a better business writer. And something very easy that lets someone open the conversation with a question that you know they have is how you get people to your AI. Dex said, yeah, okay, adding highly efficient prompts to LinkedIn posts to surprise people at the quality of the resulting conversation. Yeah, nice. And I feel like this is a big sell for you as well, because if you're adding, so you're giving prompts to people to tell them how to use your AI, they get a really great response, as Dex said, and then they're like, oh my God, if this AI is that good, imagine what the real thing is like. And then you almost have the human and AI, and they realize how good you must be. Very, very effective. Love that.